EGM Network.
Welcome to Scouted Treasure Coast. This episode, I have Cindy O'Dara with O'Dara Boga Dobson, Realtor Extraordinaire.
Thank you.
So today I get to ask her all these fun questions that I've not asked you before because maybe a little bashful or didn't really want to, feel comfortable talking about it. But thank you for coming on.
Sure. Happy to be here.
And so I'm just going to get it out there. Tell me about Home at Last. I love to look at the Instagram and look at the photos. I follow the Instagram.
Okay.
And I love to look at the photos.
Yeah.
And I mean, tell me about that.
Well, I'm a Miami girl.
Yes.
Lived there up until 32 years ago. And I just, I grew up at a time, I had lunch yesterday with a friend of mine from Miami, and we were reminiscing like nobody could have believed Miami in the 50s, 60s, 70s. My coming of age was really the 70s and 80s. And what was going on there was just incredible. And a lot of people didn't know about it because in the 70s, almost every single major album was recorded in Miami.
Well, I learned that from Home at Last.
Yeah.
Criteria Records. I never knew that.
Yeah.
And I'm not that surprised. My parents were both born in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, that's right.
And, I think back then, obviously, there was no social media.
Yeah.
So unless it was the paparazzi or somebody, to take a photo and it being posted in the newspaper, which took time, you never learned that.
Right. And then also for the people that worked at Criteria or my best friend Jerry and I, when we owned Home at Last, nobody signed an NDA, but it was understood.
Correct.
You didn't talk about all the rockers that were in town. Plus, I worked from morning till night. That was my lifestyle, was working in the music business. Right. And, the way it started, I grew up very simply. My parents were both artists in North Miami. And I went to Miami-Dade Junior College when I got out of high school. And
which high school did you go to?
I went to North Miami.
Okay.
So I was North Miami Elementary, North Miami Junior, and North Miami Senior. And I went to Miami-Dade. And when I was at school, even back then, they didn't have anywhere to eat. So they had vending machines with potato chips and Cokes.
Oh, wow.
And my best friend Jerry and I, we had to put ourselves through school. And we decided to make little sandwiches and bring them in a cooler. And we would stand by the vending machines just at lunchtime. And for a half hour, we sold out our sandwiches every day.
Entrepreneur from the beginning.
We were, even before that. But anyway, that's the Home at Last story began there. And one of our customers was the nephew of Jerry Wexler. He owned Atlantic Records.
In Miami?
Well, no, it was in New York.
Okay.
Atlantic Records was huge. That was Aretha Franklin.
Okay.
James Brown.
Okay.
All the big artists of that time. And he had a record producer that did all his work, and that was Tommy Dowd.
Okay.
And Tommy Dowd, he was so famous for doing Crosby, Stills and Nash, Eric Clapton, the Allman Brothers, the famous Layla song, all that. And he was incredible. So I didn't know anything about this, though. So this kid says to Jerry and I, my uncle asked me to find somebody that might want to cook and clean for Crosby, Stills and Nash. They're doing a record at Criteria Studios, and it just sounded like blah, 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 blah. Do you cook and clean? Blah, 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 blah. Do you want the job? And we were like, yes, we want the job. So we had to go for an interview. And the manager's name, Dan Campbell, gives us a call. And by the way, no cell phones and no pagers either. It was,
right.
I wonder how people found us. But anyway.
Selling sandwiches at the junior college.
I was still living at home, too, when I first got out of high school and went to college. So anyway, we get the call. We go down to a house on Miami Beach. Now, North Miami and Miami Beach, it was like a whole nother world. I had never been to North Bay Road. I went to Miami Beach a couple times with my grandmother or,
right,
to go shopping or something, but that was not a place I hung out. And really, in those days, Miami Beach was
older.
Frank Sinatra, Arthur Godfrey, Jackie Gleason.
Okay.
The Place for Steak. There weren't cool restaurants. The Fountain Blue, the Eden Rock. It was a real Rat Pack sort of vibe. And a lot of mobsters. Meyer Lansky and his crew were always on Miami Beach.
Wasn't
Al Capone?
Yes, he lived off.
He was on Palm Island because I rented the house. One of my houses was next door to his house. So anyway, but we're just two kids that don't have any money, and we get this job offer. So we go, we knock on the mansion's front door, 5242 North Bay Road. We walk in. We're in this gorgeous courtyard, bougainvillea, jasmine, a fountain in the middle.
Wow.
And it was, we actually held hands and walked in, and Dan came to the door and he goes, okay, girls, the guys are waiting for you. So we figured it'd probably be 3 guys or 2 guys or a couple managers, or we didn't even know what a roadie was, none of that. So, by the way, in those days, that was a road manager. It was called a roadie.
Okay.
And they took care of the bands. So anyway, we walk in and there's 19 men.
19?
In the kitchen, lined up around this kitchen that looked like a kitchen from a hotel restaurant. I mean, stainless steel from top to bottom. Pots hanging, it really looked like a professional kitchen, which it was because they had a chef, the people that had built the house and lived there.
Okay.
In those days, on Miami Beach, these beautiful homes usually had full staff.
Okay.
So they're all these guys who I later learned who they were. The Memphis Horns, Peter Tosh, Nils Lofgren, David Crosby, Graham Nash, Dallas Taylor, Joe Lala, you name it. All these guys. Dr. John happened to be visiting. He was there. And we barely make it in through the door. And we just froze. And I got to say, we were really cute, too. So here's all these guys. What I realized, and this went on for years, there was nothing to do. So if they weren't at the studio and they weren't writing songs, they were bored. And suddenly we were entertainment.
You became sort of like their concierge, or like their...
And they somebody to do things with and run around and have fun with. So they're saying, can you do this? Can you cook that? And we just said yes to everything. And we didn't know how to cook, by the way. And I did know how to clean, so did Jerry. But anyway, so afterwards, Stephen Stills walks up to us, and he was very short. I always thought he was this big, tall, like Colorado-looking guy, Yeah. He was like from Tampa.
Really?
Is where he's from. But anyway, he came walking up to us, and he goes, you got the job, girls. Welcome to rock and roll.
Oh, wow.
And we just were so excited. And then we sat down with the manager and found out what he needed us to do. And we made $1.25 an hour.
Oh, wow.
And we thought we were rich.
Now, did you you still lived at home, or how did that?
I lived at home and Jerry lived at home.
Oh, okay.
We each had our own car, though. So.
Okay.
Every day we had to be at the house by 3. So we grocery shop before we got there, get there at 3, make bacon and eggs and toast, go around and wake everybody up. So there's really 10 guys that were living there.
Okay.
And knock on everybody's door, wake up, coffee's on, bacon and eggs. And really, we would serve them on the dining room table, breakfast, and everybody showed up. They really, really, really loved that, you know? And then they would go to the studio. We'd make sure we got them there by 6.
Okay.
And they'd go to work. We would come back about 9 o'clock and bring dinner.
Okay.
Then go home and get up to go to school. Our classes started at 8 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, we were young. That's how we did it.
Yeah.
And that went on for about, 4 months. In those days, there was no budget, zero budget. The managers and everybody that were running the show were all young. It was like the inmates ran the asylum.
Oh.
So no budget, so we could get anything and whatever they wanted. Now, everybody goes, oh, did you get them drugs? No, we did not. And we didn't pay attention to that. Neither one of us did drugs. So we were very earnest.
Well, I read somewhere about Criteria Records that Eric Clapton, that was part of the reason they sent him there.
Yeah.
Was because he had done rehab
for a year on a farm
in England or somewhere.
England with a,
and I never realized that he was good friends with Barry Gibb.
Yes, he knew him because Robert Stigwood was his manager.
Okay.
And he also was Barry Gibb's manager.
And so that was part of why they sent him to Miami.
Yes.
Was because he was out of rehab.
Yep.
And it was clean living.
Yes.
Y'all had fun, and
I
you
can't
could see
believe
with
you
all
researched that.
And,
That's so cool.
And you could see all the pictures. I've seen pictures of you and Jerry, like out in the little rowboats or whatever off of Miami Beach.
Yeah.
So how many homes were there?
So we started with one home, which was 5242 North Bay Road. We had that. But then after, what happened is Eric's manager was friends with Stephen Stills too. So Eric had 2 recommendations from us. And his manager, Bill Oakes, now there's a lot of management. Right. RSO, Robert Stigwood, was in charge. And then Bill Oakes was like his everyday manager. So he called me and he called Jerry and said, Eric Clapton is coming to town and he would like to be on the ocean. Do you have a house on the ocean? Long story short, we were able to secure 461 Ocean Boulevard.
Which was the name of that album.
Yes. And when he came, it was so funny. When we first got to the house, we hadn't met Robert Stigwood yet. But Eric was there. We didn't know it was Eric. We thought it was his road manager. So we knock on the door. We walk in. Eric answers. And so I go, oh, hey, I'm Cindy. This is Jerry. The house, show us around. Tell us all the details of everything. So he was kind of walking us around, showing us where each person was staying and who they were. And I'm like, okay, what does he do? Well, he plays guitar. And what does he do? He's the drummer. And in the end, I go, where's Eric? We want to meet him. And of course, he was Eric. So that just cemented our friendship right off the bat. And he was so adorable. He was clean for the first time in a long, long time. And just wanted to live this really good life and do a record. And he was just so fresh and innocent, really, really sweet. He stayed probably 4 months again. So we're every single day with these people, all day,
So he was only there 4 months. I think
he was there 4 months. He came back. I mean, they come, they leave, they come, they go. So I think his first part of 461 was probably 4 months. Then he came back, and then they do editing, and they do all kinds of overdubs and stuff like that.
Now, he wrote I Shot the Sheriff?
No, he did not.
Okay.
So that was Bob Marley. None of us had ever heard of reggae except me and Jerry.
Okay.
Because Peter Tosh was the biggest reggae guy. But most bands in America didn't know the first thing about it, didn't know anything about it. And one of the producers for Eric Clapton, Albie Galutin was his name. He ended up bringing the album, I don't remember which one, but it was Bob Marley's album. I Shot the Sheriff was the name of the album.
Okay.
And he brought it, and I remember him playing it at the house, and Eric just flipped over that music. Okay. And then that really influenced him. He recorded that song and, wrote a lot of very, not reggae inspired, but a lot of the music from that album is joyful and sweet.
Did he write Cocaine there?
No, that was years later when he was very dark.
Again? Or before?
He got very dark. Oh, okay. Very much so, yeah. Because, when you are in rehab and you are off your drugs, whatever they may be, you really shouldn't start drinking. But nobody knew that.
Right.
So back in those days, he thought having a beer every day was fine. Oh. Well, pretty soon the beers started turning into who knows what, some kind of drink. And while he never did drugs again, at least to my knowledge, he really started drinking heavily, kind of towards the end. And then, maybe he did get back into drugs because he did that whole cocaine thing. But he did a lot more albums, and we always, he would stay with us. Yeah. And Tommy Dowd was his main producer then. I don't know the timeline or anything. I had 121 bands stay with me.
That's it's
insane. Hard to know. But
you haven't written a book?
I have incredible archives. My sister is an archivist for art. She went to school for that.
You need to write. You should write. You need to write a book. You need to write a book. So when did the Bee Gees come?
So Eric Clapton was there, had a blast. Everything was great. Loved that. Then Robert Stigwood did come and visit us when Eric was there. And he said, girls, you cannot let him do drugs. Just always be careful about that. But never anything about the alcohol. So then he goes, I have another band that I want to bring to Miami. Their last album did terribly. I want to reignite their career, and reignite it they did. And that was the Bee Gees.
Now, was that Saturday Night Fever?
No, that was a whole 2 albums later. Okay. So the first one, I don't remember the name of it, but it was at that point when the Bee Gees came. And by the way, I would say they were probably my favorite band ever. I just love them to this day.
Yeah, from
I love
the pictures,
the family.
It seems like that you were close.
They were a real family group,
right?
With everybody here. After the Bee Gees, they gave us a credit line on their album. And my dad had said, girls, you really should maybe quit school. This was right before the Bee Gees came, and come up with a name and call it a business.
Yes.
And he goes, I'll do a brochure for you. He was an artist. He goes, all you need is a name and a brochure and you have a business.
That's true.
And that's how it was, especially back then.
Yeah.
So we came up with the name Home at Last. And my dad did the cutest brochure, which I still have. And we printed up a bunch of them, and we went to Criteria, and we asked the owner, Mac Emmerman, if he would mind letting people know, and could we be his sister company. We were so scared asking him. I can remember it like it was yesterday. We pushed ourselves in through the door. And he goes, girls, I was going to ask you for this. Of course, you're my sister company. Yeah. I tell everybody about you. So really, Mac Emmerman, and I would say Tommy Dowd really gave us our start.
So do you think that that's what got you into real estate?
Yes, because we rented these houses and then we would sublet them to the bands. So we made really good money
you and
on
Jerry
the rental.
rented the house.
We rented it, then we would rent it to them.
Okay.
And we ended up with 9 houses at a certain point. We had 18 employees.
Can you imagine if you had those houses
Oh my God.
today?
Oh, wow. Yeah, it would have been nice. So we had employees, and they were really wonderful women from the New Macedonia Baptist Church.
So I read somewhere too that that's how Fanny
was our very first.
That was actually written
about her,
about the cook at the house that they stayed at, and said it was sort of a joke, and then it became something.
Yeah, well, Fanny was, oh my God, loved.
I love that song too.
Loved by everybody. I mean, Fanny was with the Eagles. I guess she was probably with the Bee Gees first. Maybe not Eric Clapton, because Jerry and I cooked and cleaned. But anyway, as we grew, we had to hire more people, get more houses, and then Jerry and I had a little boat, a little 16-foot Donzi called Brutal. And in Japanese letters, black letters, those Japanese, like a bamboo letter, was on our boat was black and blue and said Brutal. We would drive this boat, and there weren't a lot of boats out in that time, and we would drive it to each house every day and get out. I'm telling you, I had a leopard bikini I used to wear. I mean, we were crazy.
I think it's in some of the photos that you have on Instagram for Home at Last. That was.
So that's how we would go check on the houses. Everybody doing your job? Okay. Bands, are you happy? Okay.
Now, did you take a lot of those photos did you?
Well, the interesting thing is, in the 70s, it was really faux pas to take photos. You didn't really take a lot. I'm shocked at how many pictures we have, but people took pictures of us. I mean, I didn't take pictures. Like, okay, there's Morris Gibb and me. I don't even know who took that photo.
So there's a photo, that one right there.
Yeah, me and Jerry.
Of the Eagles when they wrote Home for Christmas.
That is actually from...
Because that's a famous photo. That's a famous photo,
We didn't take that. No.
Because I thought, geez, she took that photo too.
No. I didn't take any photos.
Now that's you and Eric out front of the house.
That's me and Eric.
Okay, so here's the question: Did you ever date? Okay, you dated.
And wrote a song.
Okay, which song is that?
Let It Flow.
Okay,
let it grow. Let it flow.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's. But
that's him
cool.
When he was just so
clean, and you could see that he was
and fun.
Yep.
We just had such a great time together.
So then, how did you get transitioned into a Realtor Extraordinaire?
So the Bee Gees were in England.
So that how did that come to end?
Well, it never ended. What happened is, I think it was 85, the Bee Gees called from England. They were realizing they could save a lot of money in taxes by not living in Europe. And they wanted to buy 3 houses. It's probably Robert Stigwood's idea.
Okay. I think I read that
Called
somewhere
us
too. Yes.
And said, we need to buy 3 houses. We want to be on North Bay Road, want to be on the bay. We love it there. And can you set us up with a realtor? And we're like, absolutely. And we went out and got our real estate license. In those days, you could do Burt Rogers crash course in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And you had your license like really fast.
Okay.
And we hung our license with a broker and then sold them 3 houses on North Bay Road. So that was why I got my license.
And that was how it started.
Mm-hmm.
So how long did you transition to the real estate business then, or did you still?
We still did. We did both.
Okay.
I mean, Home at Last was going so well.
Yes.
There would be no reason not to. And, we just started building a real estate business. It takes time, but we built a really good business. And then, it just kind of kept going. But then the music business did kind of die out after, I don't know, mid-'80s. When did Miami Vice come?
Oh,
Late
that would have
80s?
been no. Well, let's see. I was in middle school and I used to watch Miami Vice on Friday nights.
Well, whenever I think it
I think that was probably mid to late 80s.
It was mid-'80s. It had to be because, interesting, Don Johnson used to be a hanger-oner with the Allman Brothers. And Jerry and I met him several times when the Allman Brothers came to stay with us.
Okay.
And one day he showed up at our office, our real estate office, and he goes, "Girls, you're never going to believe it. I am in it's a TV show," and he told us all about it, Miami Vice, and I told everybody about you. I want you to get us houses. I want you to take care of us, get everything. So we did, and we ended up selling quite a few properties to different people in Miami Vice, and Don and Philip.
Okay.
You know, and Olivia, and it was really successful. The show was great. We did do some location scouting for them.
Oh wow, that's kind of how Miami Sound Machine got started, sort of a little bit from Miami Vice too.
I think so. We didn't. So weird. We barely ran into Miami Sound Machine. They did a lot at Criteria.
Okay.
But they lived in Miami. They were Miami people.
Right.
And by then, Miami was getting really cool.
Yeah.
So really from 70 to probably 79 or 80, maybe in the 80s is when it started to kind of get hit.
Miami Vice was a big thing for the city of Miami.
It sure
and Miami
was.
Beach.
And then Christo came. And we did work with him, and he did the Pink Islands.
Okay.
And that was incredible. I have some really cool photos of that, and I got to find them. And then we did Miami Vice, and then I did end up getting kind of burnt out, kind of towards the end. Listen, every band was great in the beginning. They weren't even hardly that well known. They were kids. We were all kids together.
Right.
But, as people get famous,
things change.
And, everybody just kind of got crazy in a way.
So, fast forward, moved to Vero.
I actually moved from Miami and lived in Switzerland for a year. I didn't listen to rock music. All I listened to was opera. If I listened to rock music, I would have an anxiety attack. So that's what I did. Lived in Switzerland with my husband and really had a great time. Came back to Miami. By then, Pablo Escobar, all that was going on.
Yes.
And my daughter Katie was born in Switzerland. I had a baby, and I'm like, I don't think I want to live here.
Yeah.
And Rory's family was living in Vero Beach, and we came up here, and I have to say, I never looked back. I really was smitten with Vero from the minute I got here. It reminded me of Miami when I was growing up. It was small town, big community, great place to raise children. Really incredible. And who knew? I didn't know that was going to be the case. So, I stayed home for a few years and really got my children into school. And once they got into school, I got right back into real estate.
And now here you are.
And now here I am.
Number one agent.
I've been number one team for about, 15 years.
Okay.
It's been for a long time.
So how did you end up meeting Richard and Kristen?
Oh, well, Richard was my assistant for a long time.
Okay.
And my partner was Clark French, and we broke up. And Clark moved, and I said, Richard, do you want to be my partner? I loved Richard. He was so good and very dependable.
Yes.
And super smart, which I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
And,
kind of steady Eddie.
He's a steady Eddie, and I'm much more of the outgoing kind of person. Richard has become very outgoing. He didn't used to really be that way.
Okay.
So, but we've had a lot of fun together, and we really are he's my best partner. We're a great partnership. I like a partner. I love to have
me too.
somebody. I don't want to be doing everything on my own, and a partner allows you to have a life.
That, and I think too, it's important to be able to sort of, bounce ideas off one another, or say,
"Oh, it is
am
so
I crazy? Am I
always
seeing
say,
this
am
wrong?
I crazy?
Yeah, am I crazy, or
Here's
am I
my idea,
yeah, or am I seeing this wrong, or what are you
Yes.
thinking?
Yeah,
And I think it's also when your personalities are a little bit different.
Oh,
It's
we're
like the
very
yin
different.
and yang, and
Yeah.
Yep.
that's us.
And then Kristen, she has a very
Kristen
she has a great personality.
She's amazing. I'm so proud of her. You know, Kristen came when I was at my former broker, my former office. And when Kristen came, everybody loves her. Everybody. There's so much to love. And I just thought, well, she asked me for help, and would I mentor her? And I said yes. I had really never done that before. You know, not really. I helped a lot of people here and there, but she really wanted to work for me. And I said, okay, let's give it a try. And she's a sponge. To this day, she is always, learning. Well, so am I. I really believe.
Well, you kind of learn every day, right?
I always want to learn every day.
Yeah, there's something you don't know that you learn every day.
And she is just I'm so proud of her. So Kristen joined us, and she's got a fantastic business. And when we moved to One Sotheby's, it was just, oh dear boga. And after a year, I said, Kristen, I'd like to make you a partner. And that just, from there on, we have just done way beyond my wildest dreams.
So what are some of, like, let's say for the new year, some goals or some things that you're looking forward to with your group?
Well, I do
and
goals
Vero?
every year.
Yeah.
We do have a business coach, and he really has us do a business plan, and we all write goals out. That's so important. Joe says if it isn't in writing, it isn't real.
That's probably
and
true.
He's been with me. I've been with him for 10 years, and he has really been a big help. So our goals for this year is we would like to do 300 million. We did do 300 million 2 years ago. That was during COVID, but prices were half of what they are.
Right.
So prices have gone up 47% since COVID. I think I could hit 300 million this year. So that is my goal for my team.
Where do you see prices this year? Do you see them?
I see prices where, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to speak for every realtor in Vero Beach. If you are a seller, listen to your realtor. We know what the price should be. If you price your house correctly, not only will it sell, but you'll probably get very close to your asking price, and it'll go quick. The average median price, median days on market is 180 days, which is ridiculous. That's really long.
It's almost
my listings are on for 90 days and less.
There you go, because it's priced right.
Priced right.
Move. Yep. And now you have your podcast.
I have my podcast, which, I'm really doing that for fun. I don't know that it's a real estate podcast. I don't know what it is, but I love being in the studio. Love having Jesse here, our producer. And, I did it for 10 years with David.
Right.
And I absolutely love it. It's a hobby. So
we got to have hobbies.
Yes. And I've been wanting to do it. David moved to Nashville, and we just couldn't do it long distance.
Right.
And so I kept thinking about it, and I didn't do it. And then what happened? I don't even remember. I think Evergreen maybe they reached out to me a year ago or whatever. And so I just finally said, okay.
Okay.
And there we are.
And your grandmother and
I am a grandmother of a beautiful little girl named Camellia. She is my greatest joy. I have 2 daughters, Katie and Lily. Lily is the mom of Camellia, and she works with me.
yes,
Lily's on my team.
I've seen that.
So she took a year off,
Okay.
and she's just now coming back.
She's coming back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think she's very excited to be back. She's already got a listing.
I see
She's
smiles all the time.
Yes,
so I think she's okay.
Yeah. So Lily's back, and we're all together, and our office, which you've been to my
Yes,
office, right?
yes.
Our office is beautiful.
Yes, it is.
And my team is beautiful inside and out. All good people, all kind. That was my criteria. I didn't care if you were a top producer. I wanted somebody that I could help and somebody that
You
was
trust.
a nice person and I trust.
Yeah, I see
And-
that. I mean, that's important.
Yeah. So
That's
that's
very
been
important.
it, really.
Well, Cindy, I thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome.
And
Amy.
I just, love hearing about your
Well, we
history.
didn't say anything about you, but Scout Guide, I'm so excited that
Well,
you're
thank
here.
you. Thank you. It was really not about me.
Yeah.
It was about, I wanted to have
Okay.
you on and talk about your history and how you got
Yeah.
to here. And
Yeah.
you just have so much, I know I look up to you a lot.
Oh, that's sweet.
And I look at your, everything that you've accomplished and thank you for,
You're welcome.
and everybody, thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next week on Scouted Treasure Coast. Thank you again.
Lovely.